this is Mary Morrissey. Oh, we all got the sad news that one of the greatest men to walk our planet, Nelson Mandela, has passed away and gone to the next dimension of life. We'll miss him on this side of things. I had the privilege of meeting with Nelson Mandela. It was one of the dreams of my life because I wanted to ask him a question. One day as I was thinking about if I could meet anybody on the planet, who would I want to meet? And I had thought about meeting His Holiness the Dalai Lama, which had come true. And I thought I would love to sit down with Nelson Mandela and ask him, how did you do it? How did you go from being sentenced to life imprisonment, spending 27 years in hard labor, and not only getting released before the end of your life, but then becoming president of the country that sentenced you to life? And instead of having go get the bad guy hearings, you have truth and reconciliation hearings. How did you do that? How did you use your mind? What did you do to move from being that guy to this guy? And when I had the privilege of meeting with him, we were told ahead of time not to use any flash photography because the retinas of his eyes had been damaged with the bright light shining off the rock quarries for the many, many years that he worked those rock quarries. And when asked the question, he said, the man who went to prison could never have been president and done the things I did. I became a different man during those years. The man who went to prison, he was a very angry, very violent young man. But over time, after months in prison, I thought over and over and over again, I kept thinking, it's all lost, it's all lost, it's all lost. And for months and months and months, and he said, I don't even know how long. That was the thought that kept a dark cloud upon me. It's all lost, it's all lost. And then one day, like a drop of water on a parched land, the thought, maybe it's not. And I had no idea how maybe it's not could be true, but it just made me feel a little bit better. And so I hung on to that thought like a desperate person hanging onto a branch before they pummel to their death off a cliff. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. And over time, as I worked my way up the ladder of thinking, one day I thought, maybe my being here is actually part of the ending of apartheid. And when I began to think that maybe my being in prison was actually part of the ending of apartheid, then I began to think about if my being in prison were the ending of apartheid or part of the ending of apartheid, then how would I be while I am in this prison? And I began to change. My conversations began to change. My feelings began to change. My words began to change. And eventually the idea would come to me to write letters. And the rest is history. I've always remembered the power of that question that he asked himself. If my being in this moment were actually part of something much bigger, much more important, much more impacting, then how would I be in this moment? What words would I use? What action would I take? How would I feel and what would I think? Because I do believe that when we think from the calling that's within each one of us for greatness, then great things really can happen. So I give thanks for the man Nelson Mandela. I give thanks for his leadership for our world. I give thanks for all he went through and led. I give thanks for the Nobel Prize that was awarded him. I give thanks for the great being that has blessed all of us. We have much to learn from this man. So join me in sending, in whatever way is comfortable for you, a prayer of gratitude that I know right now reaches his soul and says, thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish you a great day. Bye-bye.